losing my mind. Oh, that's an awful angle too. It's fine. It's kind of a mess back there. I really should have cleaned up. Hi, how are you guys? All right, I'm like finished chewing. I'm on fire. I'm writing so fast because I'm really lit up. I was like finalizing my notes. Everything is good. Happy Thursday. And welcome back to Online Steps to Success. This is our very first broadcast of 2021, which is great. I'm really excited. Let me know if you can hear me. That'd be fantastic and helpful. Hi, Sasha. Sasha's watching on YouTube. Hi, Sylvia. I'm so glad that you're here live. Sylvia's off work today. I know this because we were texting. So I guess you guys can hear me because you would tell me if you can't. Great. Fantastic. So I'm really, really excited to be back. Yes, Amanda says, long time no see. It has been a long time, and I will explain. Okay, great. You can hear me. So you know that I always take some time off from my business. And this year I took a little bit more time than I intended just because I needed it, but it turned out really, really great. And I can't wait to tell you all about it. And it's really one of the things we're going to talk about today. So I'm excited. Welcome to Online Steps to Success. If this is your first time, let me introduce myself. My name is Allison Dalkey. I've been in this business for 13 and a half years. It's our full-time income and my favorite thing in the world to do. Well, thanks. Sylvia says I look refreshed. I appreciate that. I am. I'm refreshed and I'm lit up and I'm excited. That's how I feel. So all good things. All good things. So today we are going to talk about a dream reset. But before we do that, hey, Mel. I introduced myself, but let me tell you about our entire goal at Online Steps to Success. My goal is always to help you dream big, work smart, change yourself, and change the world with this business. And I know that those sound like such lofty things and like really big things, but I 100% believe that they're possible. And we're going to talk about that today, about how do I actually not only change myself and my circumstances with this business, but how do I change the world too? Big claims there, but we're going to talk about it. I think that you'll have a good day. So, like I mentioned before, today is a quick dream reset. So what's a dream reset? Well, whether you're new or you've been around for a decade, we all need a reset sometimes. Heck, I think everybody needs a reset after last year. Yes. I needed a reset. I'm like, let's just move on. Not that this year's starting out all that much different, but still, a girl can dream, you know? So my goal is that this video is one that you can come back to whenever you need it, because I know from experience that sometimes we just have to kind of get our head on straight again, because it's very easy to get overwhelmed. It's very easy to get out of our lane. It's very easy to get a little consumed with what everybody else is doing. And those things do not produce a business long-term that makes money and that brings you fulfillment and that brings you joy. And so we want to take some time to reset. And maybe you're thinking, I'm in a really great place right now. I feel like I know exactly why I'm running this, why I'm doing this business. I feel like I have clear vision and clarity. Amazing. I'm so glad that you do. But hopefully, if there comes a time one day when you don't, you can come back and watch this video. I am interested to know, though, if you're watching live or if you're going to check if you're watching the replay, I want to know how you're feeling. Like, do you feel like right now I have something that I would say, yes, this is exactly what I'm working towards. I know why I'm running this business. It's clear to me. Or would you say, I don't know. I'm kind of just going through the motions. Just chat real fast with me. I want to hear what you have to say. While you're chatting and telling me how you're feeling about your business right now, we're gonna. Oh, okay. Lost it all. Can't seem to reset. Mel says I feel cold. Does that mean literally? Because literally it's cold here. Clear as mud. Great. Definitely need to reset. I'm lost. Don't know anymore. Okay. Good. I was a little worried going through the motions. Okay. I'm surprised a little bit. I kind of thought that you guys were going to be like, no, I know what I'm doing. And I know why. Feeling a little bit set back. I will say this is a really super interesting year. Okay, I'm just checking out the comment. I'm going to read this real fast. I never started working again. Okay, I get that. Oh, Enif said she just figured out her real why after 8.5 years. This is exciting. Need to reset. Okay. I'm a little surprised. So it's a very interesting year to me because we're coming off of 2020, which for most of us was record sales, team building, growth, all of those things. Amazing. In the middle of a pandemic, right? But now we're in a new cycle a little bit where we have a new catalog in February, which has never happened before. And so normally we would have slowish January, slowish February, and it's kind of like this reset, and that's kind of hard to roll into sometimes. But now we have a new catalog, and it feels like we should be farther along. Maybe, it's just an interesting. It's like a different feeling. It's never really felt like this. So I kind of thought you guys would be a little bit more like, no, I know exactly what I'm doing. So interesting, good. I think this will be good, and we can maybe all use a little reset together. Okay, cool. So I'm going to break this into 2 parts. We're going to start with those of you who are new. So if you're new in the past, let's say even just in the past 6 months to the business, and you maybe have never really set sort of this big goal or this dream or really ever even thought about what's possible with this business. Maybe you joined because you love the products. Maybe you joined because you got a free kit from being a great host, or maybe you just, joined to get your own club subscription, whatever it is. But you never really thought about what was possible. We're going to start there. So the first part of this, I'm going to talk specifically to those of you who are new, who have never set a goal or a big kind of dream with this business. And then the second part of this, I'm going to talk about those veterans, those of you who've been around for a while. Maybe you've had dream after dream after dream. Maybe you've reached some of those dreams, but now you're just in a place where you're like, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do or where I want to go right now. I'm a little annoyed right now because my cameras are in 2 different places. I think I'm just going to put them together. So YouTube's here, Facebook's here, and I don't like it. You don't like it. Un momento, por favor. Just 1 minute. Put you guys back together. I missed you too, Chrissy. Let's talk about you the other day. Oh, Jackie says, I know what I want to do, but I have too many ideas. This is a problem also. Okay. Let's see. It's a little better. Actually, I need to move a little bit more. I'm sorry. Bear with me. That's what happens when you come on camera a while. You forget what the heck you're doing. That's a little bit better. Now you guys are I don't have to look back and forth so much. Listen, Jackie's saying I have too many ideas. I feel you, because you should see the Post-it notes on my desk right now. Absolutely out of control. Completely out of control. So I feel you, and I get that. It's a whole thing. Okay. So let's get to it. Let's start. This is what I want to start with. I'm going to read a little bit today because I did write notes. You know me. Sometimes you get something I wrote. Sometimes you get something just straight out of my heart. This is a mix. It's my heart and notes. So I want to start with the newbies. First of all, yay. We're so glad you're here, and we're so glad that you're diving into your business, and we're so glad that we're glad that you're here. Let's throw a party. I'm getting better at celebrating. After last year, I'm I just want to celebrate everything. Can we celebrate everything? So we're celebrating you. We're glad you're here. This is welcome to one of the biggest opportunities you have ever stepped into. And that seems a little bit like a huge thing to say, but it's 100% true. So, and this is what I want you to understand if you're new, and some of you that are old, if you've been around, I don't mean old. I mean if you've been around for a while. You need to hear this too. What you believe about this business, what you believe is true, and what you believe is possible with this business is what you will achieve. Hands down. What you believe is possible is what you will achieve. For example, if you believe that this is just going to be fun money that you're going to spend at Target, it's going to be fun money that you spend at Target. Yay. Yay and yay, that's great. But if that's all you believe it's ever going to be, that's all it's ever going to be. If you believe that it's going to pay your car payment, they'll pay your car payment. But I'm here to ask you today, what if it could be more? What if it could be more than you thought it could be? Maybe you just joined to, feed your habit. Maybe you just joined for fun money. Great. All those are great things. But what if it could be more? I know you're probably thinking, well, that'd be great, but I don't have endless time or endless resources to throw into this business. I get it. You don't need those things. You do not need endless time. For one, nobody has that. And you don't need tons of resources either. You need smart, decisive, step-by-step actions to get you to the goal. But this is the key. You have to have a goal. If you're not working towards something, if you don't know what you want, how are you going to get there? That's why we have to start with why. So over the next few weeks on Online Steps, we're going to break down some of the, we're going to backtrack a little the basics. We're going to, you're saying I have all these ideas or, I want to do well, but I don't know where to start. We're going to go back to here are the things that work, that have always worked in this business, always worked. There's things that are foundational that have never changed. Even as technology has changed and all of those things, there's some foundational things that have never changed. And we're going to break those down and talk about those over the weeks to come so that you feel like, okay, now I have a dream. What do I do? Right? So we're going to get there. But first, we have to land on what the goal is. We have to land on the dream. We have to be willing to say what we actually want. And for some of you, that is going to be harder to say to yourself and be honest with yourself about what you want than it is even to say it out loud to somebody else. Of all the times we've hosted retreats and all the women I've had around my table, the thing that's so interesting to me is that most of the time we don't know what we actually want. And that comes from a lot of things, right? It comes from jumping into a career right out of college, or it comes from, raising babies for years and taking care of other people. It's staggering and sad that sometimes we don't know what we want. So we're gonna figure that out. But let's backtrack a little bit. What is possible in this business? If you're new, obviously now well, I can get a discount on my products and I can make a little fun money. Cool, great. But what else is possible? Let's talk about it. Pay the bills. Yes, we can help you pay bills. You want to pay your mortgage? Yes, we can help you pay your mortgage. Hey, will someone put the income disclosure statement in this link, please? I'll do it later in the title, but while we're at it, let's not get in trouble. Okay? Can we not get in trouble? I made myself a note. Title. Okay, great. Thank you to whoever's going to do that. I appreciate you. You want to pay off debt? We can do that. You want to quit your real job? We can do that. You want to take your babies to the beach? We can do that. You want to have actual, real financial freedom? We can do that. We can do that. Here's the thing. I said earlier, welcome to the biggest opportunity of your life. That's 100% what this is. But it starts with what you believe is possible. It starts with what in your head you think you can actually achieve in this business. Because like I said before, whatever you believe is possible is what you'll do. So the people that you see doing these great things, paying off their debt, my sweet friend, Amy, they just paid off a truck that they bought this spring. And we were on Marco Polo the other day and the tears in her eyes of She's like, we're one payment away from having my car paid off, and then all we have is our mortgage. And I'm sitting here going, this is what it feels like to be financially free. Like, she's like, and then we're going to pay our house off. And then, I mean, but you know how she did that? Because she believed it was possible. She believed it was possible. What you believe about what's possible in this business is what you will achieve, period. So we have to up our expectation, right? We have to say, okay, this is what I want. This is actually what I want. And then we have to go after it. So I know that it's possible. All of the examples I gave, all of those things have happened in my life. All of them. And in so many other men and women's lives through this business. It is possible, but you have to believe it. So let's make a dream. Let's start with why the heck you're doing this. Maybe you haven't let your head or your heart go there yet, because a lot of people don't. But here's what I want you to say. Here's what I want to say to you. What I want you to hear. Don't let fear of what other people think stop you from dreaming about what you actually want and voicing it. Don't let the fear of what other people might think stop you from saying what you want. Some of you are a little disheartened by direct sales because maybe you tried something else, or maybe you watched somebody get burned, or maybe XYZ. There's a million scenarios. So much of this is about what you believe is possible. So you have to ask yourself, what do I really believe is possible? And then you have to say, what do I want from this? What do I want from this? Why does all of this matter? Having a dream, having a big why matters because while this is a cool and amazing and fun job, it's also a lot of work. And it'll get hard. And you are going to make mistakes. You're going to fail, even. And if you don't know why you're doing this, it's going to be really easy to quit. It'll be easy to quit, right? And I don't want you to quit because I know how much freedom this business can bring you. So much. But what you believe is possible is what you're going to achieve. So let's talk about leaders for a second. And not even just leaders. Those of you who have been around, veterans. Let's call you veterans. Let's call you veterans. If you've been around for a while, you may be thinking, I started out with this dream. Like I started out with this vision. I started out with this. This is what I'm doing and why. And I saw it and I went after it. And now, 6 years later, 9 years later, I don't really know. Do you know? Do you know why you're doing this? It's just really easy. A couple things. It's easy to achieve the dream, the first one, right? It's like, for me, it was quitting my full-time job. I was a teacher by trade. I had my daughter. She's going to be 14 next month. My first year of teaching. And when I had to go back to school after that 6 weeks, I realized that's not what I wanted for my life. I wanted more freedom. I wanted to work, but I wanted more freedom. And this got to be that for me. But I did that within a year. I replaced my income within a year. And then I got to the point where I was just going through the motions. And I remember one day working, like sitting down to work and feeling so overwhelmed and so exhausted. And so like I was spinning my wheels and I didn't know why. And I was mad and I was a little bit bitter and I was a lot resentful. Because for me, I quit my job so I could have more freedom, so I could spend more time with my baby. And then all of a sudden, now I'm at home raising a baby, trying to run this business. And I just felt like, golly, I don't know. How did I get here? And it took a dream reset. It also was a reset for me in that I was running my business in a way that wasn't sustainable long term. I was doing too much and I wasn't focused on the right things. And I didn't know that. I mean, I had been in a year. Like we have to make mistakes sometimes. But it just pushed me to a place of saying, like, I don't want to resent this business. Like, I want the freedom that comes from it, the financial freedom, all of the freedom. And so the time freedom. And so I had to reevaluate and I had to say, now why am I doing this? Because I got the first why and I just had to pick a new one. And maybe that's where you are. Maybe you hit that first initial dream. Some of you, though, I know, have never said what you wanted from this. You've just been achieving and you've just been doing the things and you've just been running on the same hamster wheel for years and years and years. But there's no victory on the other side because you haven't defined what that is. There is no celebration because you don't know what it is you want to celebrate. Does that happen in you? Almost guaranteed that it has. Almost guaranteed. So the question becomes, how do I reset? How do I get back to the place? One, you have to be honest with yourself. What do you want? A couple questions I want to give you, and this works for those of you who are brand new, and this works for those of you who have been around for a long time. I want you to journal through or write out the answer to the question, what do I not want my business to be? What do I not want it to be? Not what do I want it to be? What do I not want it to be? I don't want it to be a burden on my family. I don't want it to be a burden on my finances, right? I don't want to be a slave to it, right? What do you not want your business to be? Knowing what you don't want it to be is just as important as knowing what you want it to be. But some of you have never defined this is what I don't want. And because of that, your business is all of those things you never wanted it to be. So whether you're new or whether you've been around a long time, answer that question. What do I not want this business to be? How do I not want it to feel? I don't want to feel overwhelmed. I don't want to feel like I'm spinning my wheels, right? I don't want to feel like I don't know what to do next. I don't want to be disorganized. I don't want to be busy, right? What do you not want your business to be? After you answer that question, you have to answer the question, what do I do want it to be? How do I want this to look? How do I want it to fit into my life and my purpose and my family and everything else that we're working towards? What do I want that to look like? For me, that means I want to work my business 2 to 3 hours a day. Some of you are like, well, this is like your full-time job. Yeah, it is. But it doesn't mean it has to be full-time time. And if I know what I want and I know what I'm called to do, then I can match my time spent on the things that matter the most. What do you not want it to be? What do you want it to be? Those questions matter. Okay, another thing I want you to ask yourself, here's just a few things. Some of you just need to reevaluate. You need to redream. You need to be honest about what you want out of this business. Some of you just need to stop watching everybody else. Some of you just need to stop watching everybody else. Because you know what happens when I watch everybody else? I get confused about what I'm supposed to do. I get confused about who I'm supposed to be. This is not a new phenomenon. This is something that everybody struggles with. We are in a world where social media is prevalent and idolized. And you are watching everybody else's highlight reel, and then you're wondering what value you have. Let me tell you right now, you have a ton of value. You have a ton of possibility. You have so much to bring to this world, but you know what you can't do? You can't bring it if all you're ever doing is watching everybody else. Some of you just need to listen to that on repeat over and over and over again. You have so much value. You have so much to offer. You have so much to give. But if you spend all your time watching everybody else, how are you going to know what it is you're supposed to do? You're not going to. You're not going to. Okay. A couple questions I want you to ask yourself. This is relevant for all of you. And this goes back to what I just said. You need to ask yourself, what does success look like for me in this season? What does success look like for me in this season? You're all in different stages of your business. You're all in different places in your business. You're all chasing different things. That's the reality, right? We can't define what success is supposed to be for us by taking what somebody else has decided is success and making that our success. No. What does it look like for you? What does it look like for you in this season? Not what is somebody else doing, not what is somebody else successful at. What does success look like for you? Write that down and answer the freaking question. What does success look like for me in this season? And when I say this season, maybe that means the next few months. Maybe that means February, March, April. What does success look like over that chunk of time for me? How would I celebrate at the end of April? If I looked back and said, this is what I said success was going to look like for me, and that's what it is. And I did it. Not somebody else's definition, not a goal or a challenge that somebody else has placed on you. What does success look like for you in this season? And here's the other thing I want you to be super careful of, that you are not comparing your previous success for you in a different season, to what it looks like now. Because I'm just guessing, because it's called life, that what your life looked like 5 years ago isn't what your life looks like now. What my life looked like when I was building this business is nothing like what my life looks like now. And that means success looks different for me in this season than it did then. And that's okay. We're not holding shame over ourselves or saying, oh, I should still be doing that, or we're not going to shit on ourselves anymore. What does it look like for me in this season? Ask yourself, why am I running this business? What do I want from it? It's a vital and important question, because if you don't know, when it gets hard, you're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to feel like you're in a rut. You're going to want to quit. And some of you will. And that's not okay. Oh, somebody was standing at my door. You also have to be realistic about where you are. You've got to look at your circumstances. You've got to look at your situations in your life. You have to look at the stressors in your life. You have to look at your schedule. Okay? You have to look at what's happening and say, what does success look like when I add all this in? Because it's really easy to say, okay, here's my business goals. This is what I'm going to do. X, Y, Z. And then you get super defeated and frustrated because you didn't take into account what was happening in your real life that was either going to help or hurt you getting to that goal. Look, you have to look at those things. You have to look at those things. That's why when I sit down and I schedule 3 months at a time, I'm looking at all the things. I'm looking at birthdays. I'm looking at travel. I'm looking at sports events. I'm looking at things that are going on in our life, right? And then I'm defining success based on what I know is happening in my life. And I'm defining success for me, not letting somebody else do it for me. And I'm not doing it based on what other people are doing, right? Okay. Here's another question. This is really pretty relevant. This is going to be more relevant to those of you who've been in a long time, and especially those of you who are in leadership positions. One of the questions you need to ask yourself is, what work is mine to do? What work is mine to do? And what work is not mine to do? Because some of it is not yours to do. Some of you are doing things for your teams that is not your work to do. It's not what a good leader should, or some of you are enabling. Fact of the matter is some of you are enabling. And you're frustrated because your team's not growing, and you're frustrated because they're not motivated, and you're frustrated because they don't know why they're doing this business. You know why? Because you've been hand feeding them, spoon feeding them. And guess what? They're not babies. They're not babies. It's okay in the initial onboarding for lots of questions to come to spoon feed a little bit, but we don't spoon feed forever. And when you keep spoon feeding, yeah, that's why your team looks the way it does. Yeah, that's why you're frustrated. Yeah, that's why they're not doing what you want them to do, because you're just handing things to them. Okay? That's not your work to do. It's not. What else is not yours to do? And what is yours to do? You have to answer these questions. Part of using a big dream in your business is that you're using that big dream to become the best version of yourself. Some of you have forgotten how to dream, or you can't be honest about what you want because you've spent so much time watching other people chase their dreams. You can't do that anymore. You can't do that because your joy is going to continue to be sapped. Here's the thing. There are people that I love, that I look up to, that I adore, that I think are fabulous, that I don't follow anymore. Because I'm a human who has a tendency towards sin. And what I will do is become envious or jealous or compare myself. And there is no life in that. There is no life in that. It doesn't mean I stop being friends with them in real life. It doesn't mean I stop texting and checking on them or calling or FaceTiming or whatever. It just means I don't watch. Because I'm chasing my own dreams. Because I'm doing my own thing. Actually, those of you who are around a while know I'm really not on social media at all anymore. But you've got to stop watching everybody else chase their own dreams, and you have to make your own. What's your dream? What are you chasing? I know you want me to step by step you. I know you're ready for okay, but now what do I do? Nope. Stop skipping this. Stop ignoring the fact that you don't know what you want. Stop saying, I don't know. I'm stuck. This is where I'm at. You're stuck because you don't know what you want. You're stuck and you're overwhelmed and you're frustrated because you haven't defined what you want. Stop watching everybody else and get honest with what you want. Period. Period. So here's my challenge to you. I want you to define it. I want you to define it before the end of the weekend. You don't. This is not some huge astronomical. Astronomical is the wrong word. It's fine. Just skip over that. It's not this giant, thing. I have no more words. I don't know. You just have to be honest with yourself. What do you want? And remember that whatever you believe is possible is what's going to happen in your business. Some of you aren't seeing big results because you're not believing big enough. You just honestly don't know if it's attainable. And that's not okay. Some of you become a little disillusioned because you've spent so long without a purpose, without a dream, without the answer to the question, what do you want? That you've spun your wheels and now you're frustrated. This is where it starts. Just being honest about what you want. My newest team member, she has been a dear friend of mine for years, and she joined in December, and I had a free kit to offer her, and I offered her a free kit, and she said yes. And I kind of thought oh, she'll play, I don't know, maybe she'll do something one day. She's been on my dream team list forever. She said yes, and we actually just got back from a marriage retreat that she and her husband came to in Mexico last month. And when we were there, she looked at me and she goes, you know what? I want to do this. I want to do it. I want to take my family I want to go to the beach twice a year. And this is how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to do it. vision. My hope and my dream for her is that that dream continues to grow. But she believes that she can. She believes that that's possible. You've got to surround yourself, one, with people who are going to help you believe that you can do the thing. And you also have to tell yourself that you can do the thing. Some of you have been so stuck in your head thinking, I can't. Not good enough. I'm not like her. Right? That you've stopped believing that it's possible. It's not okay. Whatever you believe is possible is what you will achieve. So while I love fun money, and I sure do love to spend at Target, I also love financial freedom. And I love watching people pay off vehicles and quit their jobs and stay home with their babies and go to the beach and pay off their debt. I remember when I wrote the check, pay off my debt was still when I wrote checks. I remember writing that check thinking, I can't believe I did this. But it was the goal. It had become the goal. Like, okay, I'm going to pay off all our credit card debt. I'm going to do it. And I did it. And the key then is you have to redream. You have to reset and say, now what? Now what? So that's my question for you. Now what? What's the dream? What do you want? What do you believe is possible? Because what you believe is possible is what you will achieve. Get it on a piece of paper. Write it down. That's where we start. Next week, not next week, I'm a lying fool. The week after next. It's not next week because I'm going to teach. The week after next, the 25th of February, we're going to start walking through the step by step of, okay, now I have a goal, now what? So we're going to do some serious talking about what it looks like to track the things that matter. So what you should be tracking, what you should be doing, and how you practically do that. We need to cut some things down to the bone. My gut says most of you are doing way too much. And that's why you're frustrated, and that's why you're overwhelmed, and that's why you're not efficient or effective. Okay? So I want to help you become more effective. So we're going to be talking about that. I'll be live again at the same time on February 25th. If you're on our text list, you'll get a text reminder. If you're not on our text list, I will post the sign up here on the page, and you can join our text list. And I'll shoot you a text before our next live. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you're well. And I can't wait to hear about your dreams because they matter. And they're important to your success, short-term, long-term, and for the legacy that you're going to leave in this business. So I love you guys. So good to see you. Seriously, it's like a joy. I hope you stay warm wherever you are. It's very cold in Oklahoma today. And I hope you do some serious dreaming. And do it now. Don't wait. Okay. Till next time. See you later. Let's see if I can end these. We'll try. Oh, not a touch screen.